no.
Okay, there we go. Now you can hear me. I apologize for the technical difficulties. We're new at this.
Oh yeah.
So, welcome to our podcast. We are going to be doing this here almost every Sunday. I can't say it'll be every Sunday because life happens. The idea of this is we are going to focus heavily on gaming, but we're also going to focus heavily on mental health and how they work together. As something you don't really see as often as you would want it to, they do. We interconnect so much. So from there, so let's get into it. We've got several topics that we're going to cover tonight. This will probably be a shorter one. I think maybe about an hour, just so we can kind of have that feel under our belt. But further episodes, I think, will be about hour and a half to.
Yeah, probably about an hour and a half to 2. I have to turn you up.
Oh,
is that better, Fatalini? All my sound checkers are straight.
Might need to get closer to the mic if that's really true. I've always been quiet on stream, so it's one of those things.
Well, and it doesn't help that the way it's fine. It's fine.
Right.
Video is a little jumpy. It's fine.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Oh, cool. I fixed it.
You fixed it.
I fix. But yeah, not super long, at least this time around. And then get the feel for it and everything. I don't know, I'm excited because I'm excited to talk about the video games, but not only just the video games, the other styles of gaming, the card games like Magic and stuff, tabletop, Pokemon, anime.
Definitely. Anime is a huge topic for this type of thing, and that's one thing. You'll hear like what Geek Therapeutics thrown around. That's a company that actually does a lot with mental health and gaming, and it's more about pop culture and not just gaming itself. So the topics that we can and will probably cover on this won't just be video games. While Twitch is known for gaming, it could be that we're talking about, let's throw random dart at board, Percy Jackson today. And that could be something that we do. And it probably won't be today, but that could be something further on.
Oh yeah. I mean, gosh, right now I'm reading the Redwall series, and you want to talk about, getting into it and talking about mental health and stuff like that, that'd be another good one. I mean, but books are just part of nerd culture, let's be really honest.
Right. And sadly, I don't read as often as I should. When it does come to reading, I do spend a lot of time reading mental health articles because nonfiction is perfect.
Oh, look at you go. I could not. I'd fall asleep. There's no way.
Well, I mean, and that goes to me in the idea of we've got it on there. I added the importance of unplugging. Taking a time away from gaming can be helpful, just as much as gaming can be a stress relief. Getting away from it can be too. So again, a topic we can cover. So, let's say we start with like general therapy, right? So, as an introduction here, we can do introductions because I know that some people here do know who we are, but I also know that there's probably some people out there that do not know us.
And once we release everything, there's definitely going to be people who don't know us. So definitely starting, who we are, what our backgrounds are.
Yeah. And I don't know the orientation. I could keep pointing up on my screen. You'll see Squizzy, but I could be pointing up to nobody. Oh, so like that. So yeah.
Yeah, you're right next to me.
Oh, see. On mine I have you above me. So I'll let Squizzy go ahead and go first, just because. Or do you want me to go first?
No, I can go. It's fine. That's fine. So Squidzy is usually what I go by here. Corrosive Squid. Corrosive. Squishy is a new one. That's Squishy has been coined by Zerker also in the recent gaming. I am a licensed professional counselor associate, which means I am in the process of becoming fully licensed. I have a supervisor above my head. For legal reasons, I have to say her name. It's Carrie Scott. And work as a full-time LPCA in a private practice here in Dallas, Texas. My whole background is in field work. from my undergrad working with doing a master's in psychology and a minor in criminal justice to my master's in counseling, mental health counseling. Because apparently there's like different ones, so that's a thing. And so yeah, so that's kind of my background. Do we want to talk about what we like?
We
What
can.
we do?
I think that'd be a good idea because it kind of gives us, an insight of who we are.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
sorry
that's
that I'm
cool.
screwing through colors here.
No, you're fine. Do your color thing. That's perfectly fine. I'm sitting here playing with my fucking fidget cube. I don't know. I like hiking. I like camping. I like the outdoors just as much as I like sitting, streaming, playing video games. I really have gotten back into tabletop. Tabletop's a real big part of my life right now. I am actually certified to be able to use tabletop in therapy through Geek Therapeutics, what Fox was mentioning earlier. I'm gonna fuck up your name at least 5 times in this whole thing.
It's cool.
I called you Pink Fox on accident the other day.
I'm down. I'm down.
And yeah, I like to read. I like anime. I like video games. I like all of it. I started with Nintendo 64. That was really my first big console, was 64.
Make me feel old. Okay, so I'm Punk Fox. As the name implies, I'm Punk Fox. I go by Fox, I go by Punk, I go by Jay. Some dude on some professional like doctor called me Chad at one point in time. Yeah, it's a whole thing. My Let's start out with like my mental health credentials. I'm currently working on being licensed in multiple states, working on Illinois and then Indiana. It's yep, I am now Pink Fox. Thanks, Natal Chan. I actually need to put chat up on the screen too at some point because of, like having chat interaction outside of the chat thing too would be really cool. But my credentials are I have been a mental health professional since 2008 when I was in the Army. I was the mental health specialist, 68 X-ray MOS. I did 5 years as a reservist. Some of that I was actually live. I was actually active duty. I did some time in El Paso at Fort Hood, which was super fun. And if you know anything about Fort Hood, don't. From there, I came back and was a reservist and started my psychology undergrad and general psychology as my master's degree. Recently graduated around the same time Squidzy did, but she's a little further in her licensure than I am just because Indiana's got a weird bunch of hoops that I need to jump through before I can get licensed. So I'm working through Illinois and then going to get reciprocity to Indiana because that's how I want to do it. And being licensed in multiple states means that I can do more things for more people pretty much everywhere. The things that I like, or the gaming console that I actually started with was the original NES. I was playing Mario Brothers, Zelda, and stuff like that, and moved on to pretty much every console generation, but I stick to Nintendo. Nintendo has been my big thing for my whole time. So I do want to mention that the music you do hear in the background is probably rather faint, at least on my side. I don't know on Squidzy's side, is Game Chops. Game Chops actually does allow DMCA free streaming music for all streamers. They tend to focus heavily on making covers, of popular video game music. So I got to thank them, and yeah. So our big topic tonight, I think we will do the patience and mindfulness. What do you think?
Sure. For me, I mean, that's kind of the bare bones of mental health. That's mostly your starting point.
Yeah. Yeah, see, Natal Chan actually cannot hear the music, so I'm going to turn it up very slightly on my side.
See, I have no response on my end. Natal-chan is posting a bunch of cats bouncing up and down in the emojis right now.
Okay, so let me see
and
here.
And teasing Fatalini with the new pineapple on pizza emoji.
Can you hear it now? Gotta ask Natal-chan that. Oh, excuse me.
You're good. Oh my gosh.
Let's turn it up to about 50.
Y'all aren't helpful. Y'all are just gurring at the pineapple on pizza. I need you to tell me if you can hear the music on my end.
So the thing, like, I do want it to be barely. I want the music to be
Yeah.
barely, so that way it's there, but it's not overpowering us talking, because sometimes that does happen. So
Okay, they hear music. That's all that matters.
cool. That's what matters. So with the idea of patience and mindfulness, specifically patience, it's about, in my opinion, some of these things aren't going to be just like, it's not mental health advice.
Not only for legal reasons, but definitely to clarify,
It's mostly
this does
for
not.
legal reasons.
Mostly for legal reasons. This is not mental health advice. While yes, I do practice as a therapist, a LPCA, and Punk Fox is working on it. I am not your therapist.
Right.
Punk Fox is not your therapist. We do not replace actual therapy. We're just talking, and you take what you take from this. It's just a discussion.
Well, things you may hear in this can be, definitely beneficial. That's something that is always a thing. But the problem that we face is that if you take exactly what I say and do that, and then come back to me and act as if what I'm saying is gospel, don't. Because
Yeah, no.
because what works for me and what works for Squidzy may not work for you. That's the thing, is like, and that's similar with medications itself too. Just because I take Prozac, which I don't, but it's hypothetical. Just because I take Prozac doesn't mean Prozac will work for you. Yeah,
Yep.
we all got to think of that. So patience, in my idea, the way that I think about it is, where or what limit do I have of dealing with something before it becomes overwhelming? And how much of that certain something can I endure before I'm done?
Yeah, and it's definitely different. I think it's, taking that concept, it's different for everything. I might be able to endure this a lot easier than I can endure this.
What, buddy?
Can you put videos back on the Switch?
That your mom and I'll have to talk about that, okay?
Yay!
Right. So I definitely agree with that. So in the idea of playing video games, we have, especially more recently, we've had a slew of different video games themselves that test our patience very thoroughly. Like Dark Souls. The FromSoft games itself, they are very trying on your patience. And that's where you got to think of, like, how much am I able to allow myself to endure these adverse anything before I'm just overwhelmed and need to stop.
Oh, hands down. Actually just got done playing with Elden Ring. I know Fatal Honey was watching, and it's one of those games. When it comes to rage games, and rage games are a different category, but when it comes to those games that really test patience, that's one of those things I can handle. I can handle Elden Ring. I can handle dying 50 times and going, no, we're still okay. We're just gonna try something different. Rather than banging my head against the wall over and over and over and over again, trying the same thing. But I do know there are some people who, when it comes to those games, it's a no-go.
Yeah.
It is breaking controllers, it's throwing controllers, it's losing that patience real fast. And
that's where you think to yourself is, where do I go, or what do I do? In the case that I start to feel that I am about to break my controller, say, where's mine? I'm playing Dark Souls 3. I am at Soul of Cinder. We've been there. You've seen my VOD probably. How many times did I just want to squeeze this till it breaks before I decided, hey, I'm just gonna stop and move on. Go to something else. That's the last boss in the game, but I need to do something else so I can calm down. In that aspect, I probably just quit the stream for the night and went to bed because, you know, sometimes sleep is what you need. We don't sleep as well as we should, but sleep is definitely a smart thing. So.
Oh, yeah. And it's, you know, and I think sadly we live in a place where patience is not as rewarded as it should be. You know, we're expected to push through. We're expected to keep going no matter how angry or overwhelmed or losing our patience we are. We're expected to just continue.
Right.
And so that comes into video game play too.
It's in your room.
What?
Why is it dark in?
It's not dark. You can see me perfectly. The light from the monitors makes it easier.
No, not this room. The other room.
What other room? Her room? I don't know why it's dark in her room.
It's dark in my room because I have the light coming in front of me and that shadows out everything else.
Yeah.
Is
So
the power out?
No, her light is showing at her face similar as if I have this light on, and it's making everything behind her look dark. The power is not out.
No, the power is not out. Oh my goodness. But yeah, and so, you know, I think that translates to video games and how we handle video games. And oh, well, you know, and then it just doesn't become fun anymore.
Right. And I mean, with that too, that actually goes with every aspect of life. If you start to feel yourself that, what are you doing? Why are you licking your hand? If you feel that some stimulus, and that may not be video games, that may just be in general, it's starting to become overwhelming. It can be a good thing just to take a step away for a few minutes, take a breath, go for a walk, come back to it later. Then you'll feel that sense of you'll feel renewed. You'll feel renewed, refreshed, and ready to tackle it again. So in the idea of patience, you are looking at how you self-care. And in my head, self-care means spending time with my family and my dogs.
Yeah, and you know, it's actually a really neat...
Huh? Yes.
It's time to feed me.
Sorry. Time to feed the dogs. Time to feed the dogs.
Am I giving him 2 cups?
Yep.
You know, it's actually a really neat little trick that I read about was, and I've shared it with a few friends of mine. It doesn't work for everybody. Like a friend of mine who's, you know, overwhelming response, and when their anxiety starts to rise and stuff like that, and they get real anxious, their response is fight.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, for people who have more of a flight response, going out, taking a walk around the block for 15 minutes, it, you know, tricks your brain into going, oh, I have fled. I have fled to the danger. The danger is gone. We are okay now. And it brings down all those overwhelmed feelings. Because I know, like, for me, mine is noise. You know, so when the bird is screaming, the stove is going off, or something else is beeping, or something else is going on, and all that noise, I have to stop, like, 5 different things, or, like, go to another room and close the door. Because my response is, that's a overwhelmed thing for me. And my response is fight. So I have to leave.
I think
But yeah.
in that aspect, it's kind of a combination of everything. I wouldn't say it's just noise. Noise is sometimes that thing. Hearing an echo back from myself can actually be that way, and I kind of shut down. My brain stops processing things, and it's not good. And I just want to sleep. So it's like nap time. Be at work. I'm overwhelmed. Time to take a nap.
No, mine is definitely, I gotta leave the room because mine is a fight response, and I will fight whatever it is. I almost fought a sonic sign because it spooked me.
I could see you fighting your bird just because it said something.
I'm waiting. But I almost threw hands at a sonic sign because they came over the speaker real loud and it made me jump. And so I jumped and like readied up like I was gonna fight. And my husband looked at me and started just laughing, going, "Were you really about to throw hands with the Sonic drive-through sign?" Because it made loud noise out of nowhere.
I honestly thought you were talking about the movie.
Oh no!
Just standing
Sonic
there
drive-through.
against like a Jim Carrey cutout dressed as Dr. Eggman. You want to fight, Eggman?
Okay, but don't put that past me either. But yeah, and like you said, it goes back to that self-care. It goes back to how do we take care of ourselves? You know, how when we recognize it, and if you're in the place to recognize it.
He doesn't even want to get off the couch.
Well, take him outside. He ate outside earlier.
Yeah, but he won't go outside.
Be right back.
Go do what you gotta.
Yep.
Go do what you gotta.
Pause.
Hi everyone. Punk Fox has stepped away for a moment and we'll be back momentarily. I'm gonna go ahead and put this little note here because I don't know if he's gonna like edit this out with the sound in the actual like podcast because this is a live stream. I don't know. So I don't want to say anything dumb because that means he'll keep it in. And I like to avoid. I was gonna say I like to avoid looking dumb on the internet, but that ship is long sailed. Hello, everyone. Hello. His creeper chair is cracking me up. I love it so much. Ship is long sailed. I am just. I have a friend of mine asking me when we're doing the podcast thing. I told him we're doing it now. Right. Oh, God, excuse me. We're gonna listen to these nice, soothing, relaxing sounds. While we wait for Punk Fox. And yeah, he had to step away. I don't know what to talk about, y'all. I'm watching chat and I have no idea what to talk about. Guys, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. Boop. I actually didn't hear that. Oh, because the stickers aren't on. That's right. I didn't put stickers on this one because it's going to be a podcast and be released like on YouTube and different podcast host site. So I put the stickers on. However, while he's gone, I will put the chat up on screen. Chat box. Really don't have a good place for it though. That's my problem. We're gonna make us a little bit smaller. Move us. Nope, wrong one. Block that. There we go. I've got to move all of our other things now too. You know what? Just cancel. I fucked it all up. No, I messed up. This is why we can't have nice things. There we go. It's fine. That's why we can't have nice things. Shh, Naddle-chan. Naddle-chan. Don't judge. Shh, Fatalini. Don't be rude. Why are you rude? There's no need to be rude. We're gonna put it over here over Punk Fox. And we're gonna kinda... auto-remove messages. No need to be rude. Wood. I saw nothing, Naddle-chan. Shh, y'all saw nothing. He knows nothing. He's gonna watch this back to see what I did, and this is what I'm doing. Y'all. Okay. Now we have a chat box. On screen. Oh my goodness. Blooper reel. Oh, I didn't put I'm Punk Fox. I keep forgetting it's I'm Punk Fox and not just Punk Fox. I'll fix that later. There's no blooper reel. I know, my stream's a little jumpy. It's because of the bitrate. And just Discord. not wanting to capture properly, but that's fine. That's fine. For now, it's fine. We're gonna get better at it. We're gonna do better. But this is what it is right now. These jams are awesome. So how is everybody doing in chat, by the way? Noddlejaw? Fatality. Oh, look who's back.
Oh, hi there.
Oh, hi!
I did not catch that, though.
You're fine. You didn't need to.
Oh, yeah? Sounds good.
You'll just watch it back. It's fine.
Great. That'll be on the YouTube channel at some point whenever I finish it.
I'm doing okay, Noddlechan. Thank you.
Okay. I feel like Noddlechan said something. Okay.
No, I asked her how she was doing.
Oh, okay. Well,
They
she's
did
doing...
nothing. It was all me. They did nothing.
Okay. All right. So back with patience and mindfulness. Like, in your idea, what would we call mindfulness?
So, okay. So I know when a lot of people think mindfulness, they usually think, meditation and, oh, we've got to meditate and, oh, we've got to, just sit and be silent. And I am not one of those people who could just sit and be silent. That's not my jam. So to me, when we talk about mindfulness, it's knowing it's not being this, into your phone. It's living your best in the moment that you're at, whether that be sitting with yourself, or let's say you're out with friends, being out with friends and actually talking. Maybe you're having dinner, but you are aware, you are in the moment with whatever you're doing in that moment, and being mindful of how you're feeling, being mindful of how you're doing, and so recognizing, hey, I'm losing patience, recognizing, hey, something's off, I'm not sure what it is, but something's off. You don't have to know what it is, but recognizing that you're feeling that way.
I like that. I love that, actually. There's one way that I've always thought to myself, and it's kind of self-mantra, right? So being mindful about how my feelings are, how I deal with every day. My personal motto, my personal thing that I tell myself every day, I get up. I don't necessarily look into a mirror. Well, you can do that and it can be helpful. I do oftentimes give myself a chance to just be like, what am I going to do today to make myself better than what I was yesterday? And while that may not be mindfulness as to what I'm feeling, it does give me the mindfulness to kind of approach my day with a renewed outlook, a renewed, anything.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah.
No, that makes perfect sense. I really like that. God, what is it? What is the Alice in Wonderland quote? That reminds me of a quote from Alice in Wonderland. I cannot go back. I'm gonna have to actually look that one up because I know what it is, and I know it's from Alice in Wonderland. We're gonna sit and listen to these smooth jams for a second.
Well, I was thinking so while we actually do wait for this quote, which I
Found it.
think. Oh, you found it. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
We'll wait.
I can't go back to yesterday because I was a different person then.
It's perfect. I love that. Like I said, it is going to be... I flipped a card. Oh, no, I flipped a card. ADHD, it's one of my tags here. We know how I am. It's going to be, I'm here, I'm there, and there. But...
Yeah, keeping track of a topic that we're on is going to be really difficult.
So... Well, that's kind of why I've got it pulled up on one screen. It's kind of what we're kind of talking about, is that way I keep myself a little bit on task. So being mindful, and when we're talking about video games, because that's part of what we're here for, is talking about being mindful. Love this song. But being being mindful of in video games, that could be in anything. So like say you're playing The Sims, that's a game that you need to be somewhat mindful for and patient for, because while you can hit that 4 times button and speed it up, and you're not using your patience. And I'm only talking about this specifically because I know several of the people that are in here are actually playing Sims on stream quite frequently. So and that would be Noddle Chan and Katie. I don't know if Katie's in here, but Katie does that
Melanie
too.
and I play Sims too. We don't stream it, but we also play Sims.
Okay. But like being patient there, you've got to think about what the consequences are of pushing that 4 times button. Unless you've got the cheat mode on, your people will die rather quickly if they're not, if you've taken their free will away. So, and in that idea, you're being mindful of not just yourself, but them, and how what you're doing is affecting them.
Well,
I can't see your chat, but I saw you laugh there, and I was kind of curious.
No. I was just laughing at some of the mistakes I've made in The Sims, playing The Sims. Because not only that, but, when it comes to patience and things like that, that's the thing that we talk mindfulness. When we talk about mindfulness, oftentimes we only usually talk about the self, and we don't talk about being mindful of other people. And The Sims is another good example of that real world kind of simulated real world consequence of, I can hit that flirt button 15 times, but that doesn't guarantee it's going to be a successful flirt every time.
Right.
In fact, I have made quite a few Sims hate other Sims because I sped it up. I tried real hard to get that, to hit that. Because I know
100 baby challenge.
Oh yeah, well, not the 100 baby challenge, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to turn Fatalini's Sim into a vampire.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on right now, and so trying to speed up that research, trying to speed up the woohoos, trying to speed up the turn me into a vampire and all that.
That happens though, and thinking on other games, we spoke about Elden Ring, we spoke about the FromSoft's like formula at this point. It's not just a game itself, but the formula. Trying to bum rush these games itself makes it actually harder on you, because you're not leveled, you don't have you don't know what the boss is capable of. I do it too. I like throwing a bouncy ball at the wall and expecting it to go through, and there is actually a very, very small chance that it will. It's like 1 out of 5.16 to the 1/4 of power.
And this is why you do a lot of research in nonfiction, and I do not. Because I could not have done that.
Well, okay, so that's actually one of those things of like, I was curious as to, and that was actually something I remember from high school, is I was curious that if you pushed on a wall long enough, could you go through the wall? Because of the way that that atoms are set up, we're never actually touching. There's always gaps between the atoms. And at that point, if there are gaps in the atoms, where could I go through? And what would it take? And that is kind of the chance. It's infinitesimally small.
Yeah.
I love that word.
Infinitesimally.
Infinitesimally.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mess it up. I'm not even gonna try.
And it's not a good word to say, because it's not easy, but dog bedtime. So, yeah.
But yeah, no, and it's something that's really cool. That kind of pulls into this mindfulness and patience, and how long can you get, is called fork theory. I read it on, here we go, Tumblr. I'm a really, show where I'm at live right now. Tumblr, called fork theory. So a lot of people with chronic illness use spoon theory.
Mm-hmm.
This is fork theory.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes off of the saying of, stick a fork in me, I'm done.
Yep.
And it's, how many forks can you take in a day? And some things are really big forks. Some things are these huge serving forks. And then some things are tiny cocktail forks. me dying to bosses in Elden Ring are tiny little toothpicks. They don't, I could take a bunch of them before I go, what, I'm kind of just bored. More than anything, I'm bored. And I'm going to go do something else. Whereas maybe I'm doing something and, it's a big fork. It's a big cocktail fork and I just can't get it. I can't get it. And I've got 4 of those big forks. I'm done. I can't do it.
Yep. And remember, and that is something that I think about too in spoon or fork theory now. It's like, while you wake up with a certain amount that you can take a day, and every day will be different. You may have five forks, you may have 2 forks, but you're never going to recycle forks. Your forks from one day won't go to the next day. It's because you could literally have a shit sleep night and wake up while you may have had what you would consider 3 forks left for today, and you wake up with 1 because that's just, you wake up, you spill your waffle on the floor, and you're just like, I'm done. That's my fork. I'm out. I'm going back to bed. And those days happen, and that's where we think about, like, you got to take some time. And while we all love, and I can't say that we all love our jobs and we love our careers, but we, as people, do, like, we actively like
when you got up and left, I was like, Punk Fox has left the room to go take care of some things. I'm gonna put this little audio tag here so that he knows he's gone.
Thanks, that's actually perfect. I'm gonna leave that in there, or I'm gonna slice that out and I'm gonna put it at the end. Yeah, thanks, Natal. I know I'm back. I'm sorry. OBS, for some reason, this version of OBS really does not like me, because like my CPU usage is at 10%, so it's nowhere near what it should be.
Ptolemy says a lot of people have had OBS issues since the update.
Okay, so at least it's not me.
But yeah,
but like, going back to what we were talking about, at that point, self-care is important. We love our jobs. Everybody loves their job. Yeah, okay. Right. So
it gets us money to pay bills.
Yes, and that's the thing, is like, we need money to do fun things, so we work jobs, and yeah, they may not be fun, but we get the fun things from those jobs. So we do what we do to do what we want to do, and we got to realize that it's just that. While our jobs specifically are taking care of people and making sure that they can live their best lives, we need to learn where we have to shut that off and focus on something else, like, playing video games. That's why, I haven't been streaming as much as I want to be, because a lot of background stuff that I'm not going to divulge there. If you want to talk to me about it, please add me on Discord. It should be somewhere down here, or yeah, it would still be down. Well, it would be on my page if you're on Squidsy's page, but on my page, it'd be down there somewhere. And we can talk about
my
it.
Mouse so people can see it.
Yeah, but no worries there. We gotta take care of ourselves. Self-care, and that can be anything from taking a nice hot shower to eating a pint of ice cream, because while it is not healthy, it is still caring for yourself and doing something that makes you feel good. Self-care is not being healthy. It is taking a moment to work on this health. This health does not generally mean going and running 5 miles. While they do actually work together, some days it is just, I'm going to have myself a nice Coke. By the way, I was going to say, this podcast is definitely not sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Not sponsored. But yeah, well,
do.
Oh my god. God. And on the flip side of that, on the flip side of self-care, that's something that gets talked about a lot, is bubble baths and a glass of wine and stuff like that. And the way I look at things, like emotions, self-care, just pretty much anything, is it's a very neutral zone. It's not good, it's not bad. It's what you do with it. How far does it go? For good or bad. I know, I've been watching the time. And
I wasn't looking at time. I keep getting notifications on my watch.
Oh, okay. See, I don't have a smartwatch, so I keep thinking that you're looking at the time.
No, the time's in the corner.
Look,
Plus, OBS has crashed like 5 times. I know one of them, it lasted for at least 25 minutes, so we're getting close to the hour mark.
if we go a little over, it's no big
Yeah,
deal.
no worries.
But yeah, on the flip side of that self-care is taking care of what needs to get taken care of, kind of in a way, dishes. We don't think about dishes as self-care, but if you've got dishes piling up in the sink,
That's just one stressor added on.
and I keep telling, I tell everybody is anything worth doing is worth doing half-ass. Washing one plate is better than washing no plates.
Yep.
And usually once you get started, something is a 5-minute rule. Well, usually once you get started doing something, you're just gonna keep doing it, whether it be cleaning or something you enjoy. So
on that 5-minute rule at the group home. So I am a group home supervisor for those with severe mental illness. I did not add that into my bio, and I am very sorry. But one thing I talk about, like I go through and I help them clean their rooms, but I give them a time limit. It's like, I don't care how clean your room is, because as long as you are not tripping over your own stuff, that's fine. I'm going to give you 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes to actively clean. And you're going to clean as much as you possibly can in that 10 minutes. And as soon as that 10-minute timer is done, you step away. I don't care if there's still stuff on the floor. Step away from it, because you're done. Your mind is done. You're done with it. Just walk away. May you come back in like an hour and do 10 more minutes? Sure, but right now it's 10 minutes and that's what we're focused on. And sometimes that kind of setting those little goals for yourself, and those are goals. And as much as we don't want to say it, like, my goal today is to fold all my laundry, right? And that 10 minutes to fold your laundry. You may not get it all done, but walk away from it. Your goal is done. Good job.
Yeah, and that there was a game Fatalini actually has recommended I play it, and I haven't played it yet, and I need to. It's called Unpacking.
Okay.
And it's about, there's a lot of little bits that go into it. Gosh, I don't remember who. Fatalini, if you're still up, let me know who developed it. But it's doing all those little things and going through the process of packing and then unpacking, and how and the feelings going on there.
Right.
And like I said, there's a lot more that goes into it than just self-care and doing what you need to do. It's a lot of there's a lot of loss process, grief process, moving on process, stuff like that. But the doing what you need to do, the starting it for a little while, putting it down and going, okay, we're done for right now. And then coming back to it and going, okay, whether that be you're done for right now because you found something really cool that you don't remember you had, or whatever else.
Processing stuff like that is definitely important. And
Witchbeam developed it.
okay. Nice. Okay. And I was... My brain stopped. Yay, ADHD. But yeah.
Yeah,
We both kind of... I'm listening to this Deku, the Lo-Fi Deku Palace remix in my head here.
Yeah.
It's really, really fantastic, to be honest. But going back to unpacking grief and loss, especially like moving. So I've only been in my house for 6 months, and I still have boxes and stuff somewhere that I know I need to unpack. But it's like doing that kind of finalizes it. For the first, I want to say, 4 months of living in my own home, I always, like, some days I would find myself walking down the hallway and being like, oh, wait, when am I going home? Like, how long am I going to stay here? When am I going home? And it's like, this is your home, guy. So yeah, like unpacking and finishing stuff like that, it can take longer than you want it to. You could live in an apartment for a year and still have boxes. It's a thing. We just little baby steps.
We're gonna pin that
Yep.
for another episode. Because like I said, I could go
Actually-
on about grief in the context of in the context of everything, not just loss, not just personal loss of somebody dying or a pet dying. I could go on about that topic forever. But yeah, going back to the where we started, kind of with the patience and taking baby steps and being mindful of where you're at for the day. Really, honestly, you could have a shit night and just wake up mad with no reason, no rhyme or God, who knows why. You just did. And recognizing that and taking a moment of patience with yourself. I think we live in a world where none of that is rewarded. In fact, it's trashed out of us from one reason or another, whether it be we have to multitask at work, or we've got so much going on in our lives. The phone is going off constantly. We're constantly getting bad news. The war in Ukraine, the shit going on here in the US, it's constantly ping, ping, ping all the time. And so we stop taking in the little moments, and we stop recognizing those little things. And when you look at games like the FromSoft games, you have to take in those little moments. You have to realize that preparation move, so that way you can react accordingly.
And even outside of the realm of video games and other types of pop culture, with that moment of paying attention to little details, and as much as we all want to rag on Anne Rice for describing, I think it's a chair. Was it a chair? Was it a table in The Witching Hour? That level of detail shows how important things are. So taking a moment to notice little things, and even if you're going on a walk, take a moment, notice the blades of grass, taking a moment, smelling things. There is actually, and this will be one of, this is my advice for the night, I would say, is a grounding technique that I like to call 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it is a perfect way to do, best way to do it, I would say. And you can do it in any room, but I would suggest doing it outside in grass. So you take off your socks, your shoes. I don't do that very often because I hate bare feet, but that's another discussion for another day, or private one, sure. So you're standing out, taking in. You want to have your eyes open, because you want to tell me 5 things that you can see, and you can base it on color, you can base it on shape, you can base it on anything, and tell me about the house, the cloud, the sky, the car passing by, and the grass. Sure. Now, from there, I want you to tell me 4 things you can hear, whether it be a dog, a mower, a car driving by. Again, cars, that can be a multiple thing, and the wind, the 4 things. Now, from there, I want you to tell me 3 things that you can feel. You can feel the wind. You can feel the grass. And if the car's going fast enough, you could actually feel that car, that feeling on your chest, or you can feel music from the car,
or even body sensations.
Right.
Maybe you feel your jaws tight. Maybe you feel,
And then you've got 2 things. So we did sight, sound, feel, and granted, there are more than 5 senses, but 5 senses are the ones that we're most aware of. Taste. What is the air taste like? And while it that sounds dumb, if it's a very heavily pollened day, it could be thick, it could be thin. You could also taste what you had for breakfast that morning. You could taste the drink that you just had. The cup that I've kind of been holding here is full of lemonade. So I taste lemonade right now, and my air in my house is filtered, so good air. And then the last one would be, we got sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste. Yeah.
You got them backwards.
Yeah. And then one thing you can smell. And these don't have to be in this particular order. You could be telling me 5 things that you smell, and you're walking blindly through a Jimmy John's. You know, you could be doing this in Jimmy John's if they offer free smells. So I mean, definitely be
They
like, hey, I want to.
offer free smells.
Have you not been to a Jimmy John's?
Not inside of Jimmy John's, no, but that was just really funny.
So they're on the outside. They actually have a neon, and almost everyone that I've ever been to that says free smells. So
Oh
like,
my gosh.
while Subway is Eat Fresh, Jimmy John's is offering you free smells, guys. Go in there, smell the tomatoes. I want to ask, like, I want to see somebody ask them. And I'm sorry for those who are here that are not in the States and actually don't have access to Jimmy John's. Jimmy John's is like Subway, but better. And I don't want to say they're as good as Quiznos, because Quiznos bomb. But
Is Quiznos still up there?
you can find like sporadically. There's like one, maybe two around.
Okay, because there's like none here.
Oh well, again, they've kind of died out. You can find one occasionally. They're hard to
They're
find.
commercial.
Yeah, it's like you can still find Blockbuster. There's still one.
In Alaska?
But it's still there. Because I mean, like, the internet there is not good, so they have to have it in order to watch like Netflix kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Fatalini just mentioned, going back to the Little Things and the Anne Rice book that you were mentioning, in The Wheel of Time, there's a moment where the author spends forever describing a desk. He spends forever describing this desk to the minute details, but it's super important like 4 books later.
Yeah, and that's how we think of it. You could literally look as streamers, and we can actually pull this back to streamers. You know, with the way we set our our building setups here. You talk about cable management, which mine is a mess. You talk about how your desk looks, which mine is also a mess, because.
Why you can't see mine?
But like, we spend so much time working on these things and noticing every little details to get it just right, just perfect for how we want it to look to make us feel better. And
Yeah.
that's the little things. We can focus on our desk and how many little details there are there.
We don't talk about those things, Fatalini.
Yeah, if you could see, like, you can see a little bit of the mess right here. And I actually found out that ADHD has many little levels of many little things, and what you see here, where my finger is circling, I would call a doom pile. And I gotta thank my girlfriend for actually bringing that one up to me, because I didn't think of that as, like, you see some people who have ADHD, they have clutter everywhere, and you're just like, why? I personally don't like clutter, so I'm kind of freaking out about this, but I don't know what to do with it. So it's like, but some people literally they know where everything is, and they just pile it together because that's where it's at and that's where they know. And I see that she is like, yep, that's me. That's how I do.
Drives my husband up a wall, but if he cleans and moves all of my stuff, I'm asking him 20 million questions about, where is it? What did you do with it? Where did you put it? Well, I put it up. Well, where is up? Because it's not up for me, because it's gone.
It's not where I put up.
Mine is I have object permanence like a 3-year-old. When it comes to like so my biggest thing is I will like get set up for stream, especially in the
Where'd the
morning.
shark go?
Especially like in the mornings, if I'm setting up for like a community game on Saturday mornings, I'll put my energy drink behind my laptop, which is closed, and then open it, and then completely yes, where'd it go? I have no idea where it went, and spend the next 5 minutes looking for it because my brain is gone. It's gone.
It disappeared.
Same thing for like setting down my keys and wallet and stuff like that. They just grow legs and walk away.
See, if I don't put those in a specific spot, like, or leave them in like my jacket, it's gone. I lost it. Like, and I don't want to show it, but like, I found my pocket knife. I lost my pocket knife like 5 months ago, and just found it last week. It was in my backpack, which was sitting on this chair. Not sitting on this chair anymore because I moved it so my kid could sit there. And I had no idea where it went. I was like, okay, well, sure, this is gone.
Bye-bye.
And that goes to being mindfulness too. Like we got to learn our own. We're so set in what we're taught. So like family members and your parents teach you one way, and you grow up, and that may not actually be how you are. So like my grandparents are, well, because my grandparents essentially raised me. So my grandparents, it's all about like things have to be orderly, things have to be in their spot. You don't want to move them because you'll lose them. And yes, that is how I am as a person, but like for the longest time, I didn't think of it that way. So I was just doing things because that's how I was taught. And then I'm like, wait, that's really who I am, and that's what I need to do. And I am holding die because that's my fidget thing for this like 2 minutes.
Been on this pen for a while.
2d20, because why not? I'm ready for that D&D stream that we're gonna do in this type of format at some point, which would actually be really cool. But we're not gonna do that today.
Yeah, there's a couple of tabletops that I want to play that aren't D&D that I need to get a group for, but that's a whole different.
Right. But like,
it's a whole different ball game.
We when we're being mindful of who we are as people, taking the patience and the time to figure out our little details, because while we all here can agree that some sort of time that the Legend of Zelda has affected us at some point, that we all may not like the same game. My favorite Legend of Zelda is Majora's Mask because it's dark, it's creepy, it's scary. But somebody else may truly love Skyward Sword. And I don't, but, the remaster was actually amazing compared to the original. And some people may not agree with me, and I'm down with that.
Yeah. Where it's like mine, I love Majora's Mask will always have a special place, but mine is Majora's Mask and Wind Waker. I love Wind Waker to bits.
I still need to finish Wind Waker on this channel. I did like 3 streams and then completely went to a different game.
No, I love Wind Waker to bits, and I've played it through on the GameCube, I've played it through on the Wii U, Majora's Mask is in timeout right now because Majora's Mask just needs to be in timeout right now. And that's going back to that patience, and that's what I do. If I get really irritated with a game, to that point, I'll put it in timeout where I won't play it for a few months and go, no, it's in timeout. I don't want to play it. I'm gonna go do something else.
And that's the thing, is like that's part of why I don't think I could be a speedrunner, is because I'd get just distraught with a game and just be like, I'm done. I can't do this. But like on that, and this is completely left field, but on the idea of speedrunning, that takes so much patience.
Oh, that takes so much trial and error.
Because you have to learn, one, if you're like the beginning people of speedrunning, you have to learn every little thing. You have to build the route yourself. You have to do all that. And then you're going to have some dude just come behind you and completely blow your time out because he watched you do it and now he knows how to do it, but faster.
Yeah, well, and that takes patience with yourself, and this talk about patience with yourself is so hard. And this is coming from somebody who helps people learn to be patient with themselves. That is so hard. Being able to be patient with yourself, especially if you're learning a new skill, especially if you're, a speed runner. Oh, okay, this path didn't work out. It actually made my time longer. Okay, stop the clock, restart, do it again, and allowing yourself to go, that's fine. It's a new thing. We're going to take a deep breath, and we're going to, patience. Mine is like cooking. God, trying something new and cooking, that's where I really have to be mindful of my own patience with myself and where I'm at mentally. Otherwise, I'll just down spiral. So being patient with yourself.
Some days with cooking, it's like, yeah, I want to do it. It's great. I'm following this recipe. It's going to be great. And then you're like, you get everything out and you're like, What's the number for Papa John's again? Because I think that's where I'm going tonight. Because I mean that's how it happens. We gotta realize that our spoons may be gone, our forks may be there, and we can't.
Yeah, Patalini just mentioned risotto.
Dude,
yeah. Have you made risotto?
I have tried. It's not easy.
That is a test of patience. You have to put that broth in one ladle at a time and stir that rice until it is all gone.
Yeah.
And that is a test of just patience. And the worst part is I made pumpkin goat cheese risotto. It was so good. It was delicious. And I hated how good it was because that means I'm going to want to make it again.
Right. I actually... So I'm very, very easy when it comes to food. My favorite meal is chicken parmesan. And as hard as that sounds, it is one of the easiest things in the world to make. And I love that it's so easy because it's so good.
Yeah. No, it is good. Chicken parm is real good. I'm one of those people that can just look into my cabinet and go, cool, this is what we're having, and throw it all together and make food.
I have to have a plan. So, I mean, and that's where you got to, where we differ. And everybody differs that way. Some people can literally just that I'm good, and I'm over here like, what does that call for? I don't have any of that.
Yeah.
Guess I'm done.
No, give me rice, give me a can of diced tomatoes or rotel or like cream of mushroom soup, and I can whip up a meal.
Okay. I mean,
yeah, but there are some people who can't, and that's
right.
fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's where you're at and being mindful of where you're at.
And so we talk about like streamers. You get on here, you're having a bad day, and you want to, but can you muster up your... Because we all have our own specific energies, and how we display ourselves on here that can be completely different than who we are as a person. And if you come on here displaying a different self, people are going to notice, and you won't feel good about the product, the content that you are producing.
Yeah.
Which can literally just spiral you down. And that's why I took so long off is, one, I was facing some severe depression and changes at work and changes in my life. And it's like, I need to take a step back because I'm not going to continue producing the stuff that I don't like.
Yeah.
And while it may be the games that I like, it's just not who I am as a person and what I'm going to like.
Yeah.
So
that's something that I found that kind of helps. Well, yes, the persona that I put online is who I am as a person. Going back to what I like the metaphor of masks.
I love it.
We all wear different masks, but there's a difference between masking who you actually are and just wearing a different version of yourself. Mm-hmm. Who I am around family is not who I'm going to be around, with my husband, and who I'm around with my clients is not who I'm around with my friends. While it is all me, they are all aspects of who I am as a person. Each mask is just painted a little differently. Maybe the colors are the same, but the patterns are different. Maybe the patterns are the same, but the colors are different. They're all aspects of who I am. They're not masking who I am. It's just different. And the same thing with streaming. The persona I put on is who I am, but it's also just one aspect of who I am, and it helps me be able to take it off at the end of the day.
Right.
When the stream is over, go, you know what? That was a lot of fun. I'm feeling really good. I'm also done.
Walks out of the office in my professional bodysuit, unzips, and lets Satan walk away.
That's right. That's right. Sometimes you have to unzip the skin suit and let the demon come out. But that's it. It's the whole thing is, being able to, at the end of the day, go, okay, stream is done. I can now take a deep breath, sigh, and lean back, and reflect on how it went.
And that's one thing that I try to impress on other people is it is definitely important to go back, and you don't have to watch your entire VOD, but you want to watch at least a little bit of yourself to see what did I do, what can I do, and how can I effectively work on myself. Because while this is something that some people do just for fun. If you're trying to make money with this, this is something that you need. It is work. It is a job, and our performance does change. But you also got to know that you're wanting to have fun with it. It can't be something that you're just going on here and trying to be, a robot every day. You got to have fun with it. Otherwise, it's not going to be entertaining to other people.
Or put on your retail face. You know, my retail voice working in retail was not who I was.
Thank you for calling CVS Pharmacy. My name is Jaren. How can I help you?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, no. My waitress voice is very different than my real life voice. My waitress self is very different than my real life self.
Hey.
Because there were a couple of times I thought about,
our interactions with people in general, patience is important, because you got to have patience with yourself and understanding, like being mindful of where your limits are with other people, but you also have to have patience with that other person, because we're different people. Who you are and how you believe socially compared to what I do socially is completely, just absolutely different, and it's impossible to compare what you think and how you think to what I think and how I think.
There's a word, hang on.
Love new words. Vocab lesson, everybody. Let's throw that up in the top of the screen. Vocabulary lesson.
Vocabulary.
The more you know. Bring.
No,
I'm not that good
that's
at video.
not.
Not that good at video editing, though. So.
Oh my gosh, I can't think of the word, but it's the word of realizing that everybody is living a different life, their own lives. It's not empathy, and it's not Sonder. The realization that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and complex as your own.
Love
it's called Sonder.
Sonder, and I actually did just look that up too. It is a fantastic word. Kind of makes me think of saunter. It's a very slow, mindful walk. So you're sauntering while you watch and you understand that that's Sonder. Everybody has their own lives.
Like how I waved at chat. I meant to wave at the camera. Hi, Marcia. Thank you for the cheer.
Hi, chat. My
Hi,
chat
chat
is over here. But that's awesome.
But yeah, it's definitely, and that's another topic. God, that's another thing I could talk about forever. I took a class on minds and machines. And it kind of goes along with what we're talking about now. It was a cool philosophy class. It was super neat. About how, is there a difference between man and machine? If you get a perfect AI, like Uncanny Valley style AI, built computerized brain, and you take a human being, is there a difference between the two? And what is that difference? And there are some people who argue there is, and there are some people who argue there's not. And that was the whole point of this class, was at the end we wrote a huge paper. I think mine ended up being like, it had to be between 20 and 25 pages. This huge paper on your argument and what your argument stance was.
So as something real quick on that, I could see both. I love playing devil's advocate, so I could see both sides of the argument. If you built a perfect computer AI brain that is self-learning, self-evolving, no, they will be completely different, because it won't error. And error is where the big problem is, because most of our errors that we have in computers and machines at the moment are user errors. It's not something that the machine did.
We're gonna put this in the to talk about column.
Yeah.
Because I could I love this discussion. It is one of my favorites. And then you look at things like cyberpunk and cyberpunk style games.
Yeah. And that actually brings me to the hope for Breath of the Wild 2. You notice that Link has this cybernetic arm. Where is that going to be? What's that going to do? And who's ready for it? Because I'm not, because they pushed it forever back, and I'm sad.
Can you can you get that back nugget so I can wash my face and go pee?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Yeah. We're about at the hour 20 mark.
Yeah, give me about 2 minutes.
Okay. Audio tag. Punk Fox has left the room. Well, he hasn't left the room, but he has left the station to continue talking on the podcast for a couple of minutes. Ready and sad. Yeah, we are too. I know I am at least. Oh, he's back a lot faster than I thought.
Okay, so I am back. And I think we could say closing things here. That would be, I don't know how we want to end it. Do we just want to be like, bye, click? Or do we want to say something funny? Do we want to like summarize what
I think it's going to depend on the topic, because I don't want to talk about, if we get to talking about an actual like heavy topic, and then we say something funny at the end, that kind of feels jarring.
Right.
You know what I mean? So gotta just the flow with it, in my opinion.
Talking about death and making you sad and stuff. Hey, let's make a joke.
I mean, that's how I deal with it, but I don't know. That's not how
day.
everybody else deals with it. If I'm gonna be sad, I'm gonna do it with pizzazz.
Jazz fingers.
No, I think, practicing that mindfulness and finding out what that means to you, whether it be, mindfulness running, which is actually a thing. Mindfulness running, journaling, meditation, whatever that looks like, because it's going to look different to everybody. Like I said, my jam is not to sit here and meditate. Mine is instead to put my phone on either vibrate or mute or do not disturb and go about my day for a little while, go to the zoo, and take in just everything.
Pineapple on pizza, huh?
Yeah, they're going off on this pineapple on pizza thing.
I see that. And my take from this discussion in and of itself ultimately is that being patient and mindful of who you are, what you're doing, is something that that we all need to work on.
Wow, Daddy.
Oh yeah, I don't know a single person who is perfect at this.
I am absolutely perfect at being patient. I play FromSoft games.
You're also a parent.
See, and that's the thing is like being patient and being a parent, that it is definitely a test, but it's all about taking your time, taking time to self-care and take a time to breathe, and you get to teach them how you do things, and that is like the hardest job that you'll ever have, is what do I teach them? How do I teach them in a way that I would have wanted to be taught without like overstepping and literally screwing my child up?
Yeah.
And like Daniel Tosh has a very bad joke about it, and you can look it up. It's about Michael Jackson. I'm not going to say it on here because it's not appropriate, and I'm trying to keep this somewhat appropriate. I don't think I've actually cussed this entire hour and a half, and I'm surprised. I might have. I generally don't watch my language, and I apologize for those who might watch this who do. But tonight was a good one. It was a good stream. It was a very good conversation about mindfulness. It may have been a little over the place, but again, this is our first one, but I see that, the further we get along, the more we actually do this, the more we practice, the better we will understand this.
100%. I mean, that's what it's going to be about. It's definitely going to be about taking a step back and practicing, and definitely, like I said, adding more things to that list. And if anybody always has questions, wants to add, that's why we've got the chat up. That's why we want to do this as a live stream, is so that you can add to it. You can talk about it with us.
And eventually, I see maybe third time, fourth time that we do this, we'll have somebody else on here so that we can get in. It's not going to always be a mental health professional. It may be somebody who isn't. And that idea is to actually, so we can have outside information. We can have somebody who may not be part of mental health show their experience, say what they feel, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we can't do this next Sunday because I'm out of town next Sunday.
And I work
Yeah.
that morning, so I'll be asleep.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah, we will
good
probably come back to this. I want to say on the 24th, and
most likely.
we may do a longer stream than an hour and a half, specifically for the fact that it is we've been gone, but we'll also be tackling probably something more in depth, and Squidzy and I will be talking about that one.
Yeah. So yeah, if y'all have anything to add, that's why the chat's open. If y'all have anything you want us to talk about, my Twitter goes through chat all the time. Send me a DM.
And same here. And if not, my Discord is there. I'm not hard to get a hold of. And if I am, well, I am sorry, but my Twitter is the same handle as this. I'm PunkFox at Twitter. Squidzy?
Mine is Corrosive Squid at Twitter.
Yeah, so we're not hard to find. We will be here. We will discuss more things. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. And I'm going to stop stream now.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank y'all so much.